about 4 decades ago. 4 decades, yes, 4 decades ago, a bunch of guys decided to bring something really different on radio. You know how it is naman. Yung dati kasi puro pop stations and everything and mellow stations. And then these guys decided, why don't we go jazz? No? And it was unheard of, but they said, we could make jazz sound good on radio. And ever since that time, jazz has never sounded better. And this is because of the WK Good Guys. Good morning to you guys.
Morning.
Morning. We come in
Yo,
peace.
Morning.
yeah. See, Wayne, don't show your
Leave.
flight. Okay, Bob, you want to say hello first?
Of course. Hello. Good morning, friends. And I know a lot of you are eagerly anticipating Brother Wayne and Brother Wayne, its alter ego, and the rest of the good guys from the station that started the what I would call in our blurb, we call this in our blurb, our ecosystem for jazz, starting in Manila and reaching out to the whole Philippines. Bakit ecosystem? Kasi dinamay na nila lahat. Record sales, pop culture, the way we lived in schools,
Mhm.
the jazz habit has started with them and blew up from there. Tsaka lumaki na lumaki yan. Into the 80s, kahit wala na sila, nagkaroon ng ilang mga jazz bars, jazz joints, at tsaka other jazz music stations. Pero
Yeah.
nothing is as pure as the original, DWWK FM. We're so privileged to have you guys here. Welcome, guests.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Teddy.
Hello, the good guys. We have so many bad elements, so we should have these guys.
Aray ko po.
Aray ko.
Hindi, palagyan mo lang ng foot powder yon, Teddy. Okay na, di ba?
Yan. Speaking of which,
ano yun?
Ted,
Oo,
Speaking
yung
of which,
BioFresh, antimicrobial socks and underwears plus foot powder and foot spray. Salamat
Mhm.
po.
all right.
yan, so
Okay.
tinatamad mag-toothbrush, foot spray. So,
Yeah.
BioFresh, thank you.
And si Ed Pixon. Ed, you've been working with Jing even prior to WK, right?
That's correct.
And then, were you in radio when WK started and you got on board?
Yeah, well, actually, before I moved to WK, I was with DZHP.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a newscaster, news writer, newscaster.
You were with Tina
First,
Palma that time, right? Tina was with
she
DHP
was
that time.
she was about to resign when
Mhm.
I came in. So was Ronnie Nathaniel and
Mhm.
Sonia Basa. So
Mm.
ang inabot ko si Nonoy David, Jess De
Okay.
Colongon, Tony Valeriano,
Wow.
these guys.
Puro,
Puro
hindi,
alamat.
puro hype na
Alamat.
boses yun.
Oo. Kaya
Ulit.
nakaka-inferiority complex, you know. But they were mostly, news readers. I was a news writer, newscaster. So I would come in at 5 o'clock in the morning, look at the wires, may tatlo ron, UPI, AP, and PMA. Tapos, 6 o'clock, the first newscast. Kasi, ako yun. Written read na lang, di ba? But for the other guys, for Jess and for Nonoy and for Tony, I would have to write their scripts. But anyway,
Oh.
Ronnie Quintos, who was then the station supervisor of WKFM, and whom I had worked with before, rang me and said that there was an opening on WK. It was basically a pop station at that time that could barely be heard. Dahil ang signal noon, ang transmitter noon was like effective yata less than 1,000 K. So,
So,
1,000 watts, hindi 1,000 K, whatever. So, I considered it, medyo na, although I was programming the music on FM, it was, DZHP was automated na. It was the first
Yeah.
automated station in the
Mm-hmm.
Philippines. So medyo nabobore ako, no? Iko-program mo lang, puro tapes, ganyan, ganyan. And then I relished the idea of getting back to live DJing. So I
Mm-hmm.
went, and then, of course, Wayne, nagkataon naman na magkasunod kami ni Wayne. I was given the 1 o'clock slot. Wayne would come in at 4 or 5. So magkasunod kami. And Wayne and I are cousins. No?
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And then, we shared a love for jazz because his dad, Wayne's dad, was a big jazz aficionado. And we
Mm-hmm.
grew up listening to his dad's music, which was the big band and Sinatra and all that. So slowly we we injected jazz into the programming. Kasi
Mm-hmm.
at that time, labo-labo eh.
Mm.
Ronnie Pintos really didn't mind what he played. So
Mm-hmm.
Wayne asked me, because Wayne was already connected with the people in Birds of the Same Feather at that time,
Uh-huh.
owned by Serafin Kua, was a good friend of his.
Mm-hmm.
And after, nasabihin niya sa akin, why don't you stay on hanggang board work niyo nun? I think it was until 9 o'clock. I
Mm-hmm.
was up at 4 or 5. Sabi na, diyan ka lang. Tama ka sa akin mamaya. So I would tag along. Punta kami sa Birds after his board work. And then, Eddie Katindig, Romy Katindig,
Mm-hmm.
Bong Piñera, all these influences added on to our personal preference in music. So, and then, nung nagkabakante, Rafi Mejia left
Mm-hmm.
for
The
the
States.
States,
Mm-hmm.
and I contacted Ronnie Mali, whom I had worked with, the late Ronnie Mali, King Monster.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And he came in, and then nagkaroon pa ng isang vacancy, and I also contacted Jing.
Mm-hmm.
And then,
Oh, okay.
sunod-sunod na yun. And Jing and Ronnie, when we were working with this small radio station called WWWK under Bong Lapira, we were
Uh-huh.
already experimenting with jazz. Mga John
Uh-huh.
Bremer, mga Thelma Houston,
Mm.
mga ganon-ganon.
That was in
Uh,
77.
Even
yeah,
I
I
think
think
earlier.
so.
Ah,
76,
yeah.
Earlier.
77, ganon.
Uh-huh.
And
76.
then, 76
76.
ba yan? Oo, yun. And then, so, it just, all came together. Wayne was our leader. Ronnie Quintos couldn't do anything about it anymore kasi majority kami. And, yun, kasunod-sunod na.
Uh-huh.
It became where jazz has never sounded better. The good guy.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Very nice. Okay, let's go to Wayne.
We
Wayne,
want
can
to,
you hear
kaya lang.
us? Oh, no. Nawala, no? Anyway, let's
Wala.
let's
Nakakonect
go.
kasi sa kapitbahay eh. Hindi pa masarap yung sarili.
Mahirap ang buhay, nagtitipid.
Binablock, biniiba password.
Sabi ko, tanggalin niya muna yung mga sinampay kasi nabablock yung sampay eh.
Let's go back to Pinky first. Pinky,
Yeah.
was WK your first radio station, or
Your
you
first
had
and last, actually. My first
really?
and last. Yeah.
Okay. So how did you
I
get
think
involved with these guys?
yeah. So Ronnie Malik left for the States, and
Uh-huh.
they needed somebody to start from 6 to 9:30,
You
and
were
nobody.
already a newscaster, Pinky, di ba? You were a
Yeah,
newscaster
yeah,
in
yeah. I was
broadcasting.
newscasting in 15
BBC.
minutes. That was from
Mm-hmm.
BBC, yeah. And then Ronnie left for the US. And then Wayne was looking around for somebody to start from 6 to 9:30. And he couldn't get anybody. And at the time I was already toying around with the turntables. So sometimes,
Uh-huh.
Ed actually taught me how to do it. So I sort of got the hang of it. And so every time they would, go to the comfort room or anything, or go to the canteen, I'd sit down. I won't say anything, but at least play around with it. And Wayne thought, I was hanging around the booth at the time, and then he said, "Iknip," a term they call me. Gusto mo mag-board? Sabi ko, oo. Sige, Lunes, umpisa ka. Ganon,
Sarap, no?
ganon lang. Oo, Lunes umpisa ka, okay. And then he just posted this note on the TV, I think it was. Think he's gonna start on Monday at 6 a.m. And let's welcome her or something like that. And then, you know naman these guys, they're all very naughty. They put all sorts of, crazy things on it. And I go, wow, okay kayo ah. Yun. So that's how it started.
Ano naman yung
And
mga nakalagay doon,
Oo.
Superwoman? Ano yung mga nakalagay na crazy things?
Mm.
ang mga ano may ano pa doon may drawing pa ng you know,
Ng kwan,
flipping the
ng
bird. Ika nga. And
I
then
wonder
there
who did
was,
that. Sino kaya?
that was
Aba,
Jing.
She's the artist.
si Jing.
Yeah, that
Ah,
was Jing. Yeah. And
yeah.
then
He
and then
calls
a
it
lot of
art.
other and then it wasn't just them. It was also those yung mga tumatambay sa booth. So they
Mm.
would, doodle all kinds of things, but it was fun. Yeah,
Mm.
okay lang. So
Yan,
that's how it
nakakatawa.
started.
Very nice. You know, nakakatawa, no? Every time I want to go to Wayne, bigla nawawala eh. No. Ayun, Wayne.
Ayun,
Wayne.
ayun, nahawi na niya yung sinampay.
Oh,
Wayne.
if kung si Pinky, that was her first and only radio job. Wayne
Correct.
throws
Bigla
back
ko.
to way back in the 60s, no? He was first known as Walloping Wayne,
Correct.
no? Walloping Wayne
Mm.
before he became your brother. Wayne, how did you get involved with WK? May hintay
Ganun.
tayo ng mga dalawang araw, no?
You see, bag.
Yosi muna.
73, kinuha ko ni Andy Generoso. Andy.
Si Andy. Okay. So,
Ano?
that was still
Hindi niyo ako
flight
narinig?
10, flight 1019, no? Flight 1019 pa.
Hindi pa flight. Ang flight 1019, I believe, was started by Naldi Castro.
Aha. Okay.
Medyo late ka lang.
Mhm. Ayun.
Okay lang, para tayo nanonood ng martial
delay ako,
arts.
no?
Ah. Ha? Okay lang.
Nice lang.
Ah.
Your
Naghintay
kung fu
kami.
is better than my kung fu.
Nakaslow mo kasi yun ako eh.
Yung baka lobat kaya ganun. Ano mo. Okay,
Ang buhay ko.
let's
That's
go
okay.
to let's go to Jing.
Ako ang low
no?
bat, hindi yung galit.
Jing, ito question talagang ano yan, no? Ang lakas ng load ninyo, no? We have to be oy, si Long Tol Howard Ed, no?
Okay, nag-comment.
Hey, Howard.
I remember
Hi, Howard.
WKFM started in the 70s with the late Andy Generoso, brother Wayne,
Sinama
and
pa
Long
siya eh.
Tol Howard. Siyempre, no? Oh, yun, Long Tol, baka gusto mo sumali.
Sali ka.
May internet connection ka na? Ayun.
Tambay
Okay.
din nakakonect yan.
Sa sampayan din. No? Marami rin siya sinampay today.
Jing,
Hey, Howard.
ayun, question. Ang lakas ng load ninyo, what did management say when you said, magja-jazz kami?
We never talk to management.
Really? Ano yung kolorum?
Oo, para kasi we were, hindi, the only employees were Wayne, Ronnie Quintos, and Dody Lacuna. Kami mga talent kami eh.
Okay.
So we didn't have a direct line. We were not organic in short, no, to the company. So ako kasi when I came in, Ed called me like Ed was saying. Nagluluto ako, naging yung phone, sabi ni Ed, Jing, may station tayo, jazz, gusto mo? Sabi ko, siyempre. So, I joined in late 1979, and I think we met with management maybe only a couple of times, but not about, I think once about jazz, when an old man of a boss said, ano ba yan, just na yan? Ba't di bumibenta or something like that? While he was showing us his pictures on the wall, while he was trooping the line with soldiers, yung mga ganun. So, it was jazz from day one. in my case, no? And we never had among ourselves. We never had any, we never had any doubt, or we never entertained any other idea of any other format. And we never had a playlist for the station. Uh, kung ano lang yung dumating na plaka, and then all of a sudden the recording companies would be sending us records. Biglang yung mga nasa catalog nila na panay alikabok nilalabas nila kasi pumuputok na yung jazz, no? So may mga, the other guys can tell you about mga kwento like discovering a still unknown Angelo Bofield then.
Yeah.
Yung mga ganun. So, it wasn't a matter of, oy, jazz tayo ha, paglaban natin. Oh, it was just jazz. And maybe because no one understood what we were doing, hindi nila kami pinapakialaman, number one. And number two, all the radio booths were in another area of the building.
Yeah.
Our booth was in between Live Studio 1 and Live Studio 2, kung saan yung noontime show, which was, Bulaga ba yun?
Bulaga, yeah.
Bulaga. So, habang nagbo-board ako ng tanghali, ang picture window ko, nakikita ko yung pila ng Itbulaga, yung mga tao. So, kaway ako ng kaway. Hi. So, maybe we were out of sight, out of mind. So, hindi kami pinapakialaman masyado. But it became an issue a couple of times when obviously mahirap ibenta at the time dahil yung advertising, alam mo naman yung advertising model pag wala kang rating, hindi ka bebenta Hindi pwede yung madami nakikinig sa'yo, meron kang niche audience, meron kang branding, hindi pwede yun. Kailangan may rating ka.
Yun. MRS nun ang nagre-rate, di ba? Most requested song
Correct.
Di ba?
Early 80s.
Yeah,
Mellow Touch.
DWFM. At saka Mellow Touch, no? Ayun.
Well, actually, I think if I may chime in, the fact was, management didn't care about that.
Really?
We were, sabi nga ni Jing, out of sight, out of mind. Hindi kami nakikita And at that time, pupugak-pugak yung signal. Paano kami pupugak-pugak yung signal mo? And then, for some reason, management decided to upgrade our equipment, both the studio equipment and the transmitter. They bought dalawang bagong transmitter na 10K. Diba? Back pa kami. That's when it started getting noticed. But first by the public, and then consequently by management. Nung kumikita na, I think, if I remember correctly, in 1983 or 84, early 84, or late 83, we were getting something like 1 million a month.
Wow, that's
ang laki na nun.
that's
that time.
substantial.
Yeah.
And the sales people were calling us, incessantly, saying, yung commercial ko, hindi na yung putulin mo yung tutug mo, gano'n. Things like that, And we finally made an impact. Not only on the public, but also kaya naging interesado sila sa amin. And then they decided 1 million, kung pwedeng 1 million a month yung jazz, kung gawin nating publish yung station, baka 10 million. Di ba? So, they decided to get rid of us because in the first place, tatlo nga lang yung regular employees. Ronnie Quintos, at the time yata, wala na si Ronnie well, Wayne and Dody, no? Wayne and Dody na lang ang natitira. Kami, throw away kami dahil wala nga kami trake. Di ba? we were just having fun. And so they, without much of an ado, they closed us down, much to the lament of a lot of our listeners. Nagkaroon pa ng petition which
Yes. Oo.
according to management, gawa-gawa lang ng mga mga DJ yan, sila lang pumirma niyan. But it wasn't. Talagang totoong mga tao yun, sila, yung mga listeners ang gumawa ng petition na yun, and they it went around,
Yeah.
and quite voluminous yung pinadalang petition. Of course, bali-wala yun. This management had already made the decision. So
Ayan,
yun, we were
Ayan.
on for about 5. Those were 5 good years from 79 to 82.
Yan, one of those warm bodies, si Paul Reno, he's based in New York now. He said, I used to be a listener of WKFM. I even visited his station in 1982. Met Pinky and Jing. Loved that station. Of course, he became a DJ, but now all he does is play golf and hopes that he could play in
Sarap
next year's
naman.
Masters tournament. Ganun, ano?
What a life.
What a life. Si
Wala
Paul.
na kwenta-kwentang buhay, no?
Wala
Ay,
talaga.
si-
Wala.
Si Wayne, okay na? Kailangan yata ni Wayne may ano eh. Yung...
Good body, good body.
Okay ka na, Wayne?
What is
Calling-
it there?
Calling Wayne.
May
Break.
question ako. May question ako, Wayne, kung if you can hear us.
I'm
One
here,
of the
I'm-
songs
I'm
you
here, I'm
okay.
here.
So
I
one
can
of the
hear
songs
but
you
Can you hear me?
yes, we can hear
Yeah,
you
we can hear
clearly.
you.
One of the songs that you made very, very popular, kagaya nga ng sinabi nila Ed kanina, you guys made songs out of nowhere, no? And Wayne, yung Willy Bobo mo,
Team song yan. Di ba?
oo,
Fairy Tales for Two.
yung Fairy Tales for Two. Ang dami nag-aakala ikaw ang kumanta nun eh. No? So yun, no? Yung how did you find out about that song and what made you decide to make it your goodbye song? Nginitian lang ako eh. No? Parang
You're
may,
witnessing a mugshot.
may pinikap na babae tapos ngumiti lang.
Wala, sa totoo lang, wala narinig yun.
Ngiti lang. Hi, are you alone? Ngiti.
Mahilig sa puryuhan din to.
Parang it's Dr. Howard all over again.
Nakakapang ginagawa.
The last time I guested yun, si Howard ang ganyan eh.
Oo nga eh. At saka dyan din yung pwesto eh, sa lower left eh, di ba?
Oo nga.
May balat yata.
Ah,
May
ganon.
balat yata. Oh, may balat yata talaga yung
Totoo.
lower left eh. Bob,
Pero
question?
gumagalaw eh.
Oo.
Wayne?
Weng, tama na yung pakyut. Salita ka.
Gumagalaw naman.
What if it... Oo.
Fairy Tales for Two. Bobo. Kulang.
Oo.
Tapos, Pinky was doing Will Pointer Superwoman.
Yan.
And the rest of the guys, I don't remember now. My data bank is full. Pero wala, nothing spectacular about choosing Fairy Tales as my signature, as my goodbye song. Pero gulat ako. Even Willie Bobo, for that matter, when 2000, got mad at
Got mad at?
Parang
Siya din.
emoji si Brother Wayne, ano? Pag nag-freeze eh, parang emoji. Iba-iba yung
Oo. Wait, patayin mo kaya yung ano mo, yung video and then just
Kapitay mo, patayin mo raw.
Oo. Audio mo na lang.
audio na lang.
Langya kayo, normal na yung connection ko. Ha?
Howard.
Kailangan lang
Walang
pala.
pala i-reset nun. Baka kailangan mo lang i-reset, Wayne.
Si Howard talaga, oh. Oh, I remember nakapako yung dial ng Pioneer
I'm
KP500
doing
car
it.
radio ng 75
I,
galant sa
Mm.
can
70
you hear me?
sa WK. Yes, we can hear you.
Okay.
Ayan, okay ka na? Galing.
Hello.
Sana, ano, ang
Yan.
problema kasi dito at the moment, may mga naglalatag ng kable.
Oh.
Hello?
Mm.
Party line.
Yes, yes.
Ginagamit ko linya. Tuloy ko
Timing.
na yung kwento.
Oh.
Sige, please.
Huwag niyo naman akong titigan ng ganyan. Ah,
Bilisan mo kasi.
Willy Bobo yung kwento.
Yung nagalit si Willie Bobo ka mo.
Nagalit si
Bakit
Willy
nagalit?
Nagalit si Willie Bobo sa akin tapos ng interview dahil bakit daw pinapakanta sa kanya ni Vic de Rosario yung Jing
Oo.
at saka yung Fairy Tales for Two.
Mm.
Sabi niya yung dalawang yung pandagdag lang yun dun sa plaka.
So clip
Album.
yung
Ang tawag
Kumbaga
nila
kay-
mga sleepers.
kumbaga kay James D, yung clip
Sabi
side
ko,
yun.
hindi namin kasalanan yun. Yung dalawang yun.
Clip side.
Side B.
So on I believe on his way from Japan to Manila, nag-cramming sila dun sa lyrics ng Jing.
Pinapractice na.
Buti nga sa kanila.
Buti hindi kanya kinuha para sa music consultation.
Okay yun, ano?
But I
Okay.
remember Wayne,
Flip side.
kasi when Willy Bobo came here, he was actually just part of an all-star jazz band.
Yeah.
The Harvey Mason.
Kila Bob James yun, di ba?
I don't remember if Bob James was there, but the leader doon was Freddie Hubbard. The
Okay.
trumpeter.
Pwede nga ba?
And
Freddie
nagkilusan yun, I remember, sa Folk Arts Theater yung concert eh. Punong-puno yung Folk Arts Theater. Nung lumabas Willy Bobo, and he sang Fairy Tales for You, nagkagulo.
Hindi, ano?
Nagselo si Fred Hubbard. Actually, he even, on stage, he said something really
Nasty.
against
Talaga?
Willy Bobo. Kasi Willy Bobo, syempre, he was warming up to the crowd dahil siya ang gusto ng tao siya kilala eh. Freddie Hubbard is, he was a very good trumpeter from may pagka-heavy yun eh. So, ang gusto ng tao yung commercial, di ba? And how much more popular can you get as Fairy Tales for Two and Gigi? So, yun, nagkaroon ng solusyon doon dahil Freddie Hubbard parang to the fact that Willy Bobo was more popular than him. He was the leader of the band.
Grabe, ano? And who was the
because
producer
of
that time?
Wayne. And when you said, George, that some people thought that Wayne sang Fairy Tales for Two, the truth of the matter is Wayne used to sing it dun sa Birds.
Yeah. Sa Birds, right.
He used to sing it a lot. People would request.
Yeah.
No wonder. Oo.
Yeah.
Wala namang hiya yan, so bakit?
Lasing pa.
Wayne, ayusin mo na yung internet mo kasi sunog na sunog ka rito.
Pagkakataon na namin.
We're still hoping Dody Lacuna could show up, no?
Oo
Sana
nga,
maayos.
si Dody. Oo. Hindi, typical stage actor yan eh. May entrance siya mamayang ano. Diba?
Dramatic
For sure.
entrance.
Right.
Nakalimutan.
Nakalimutan ba ni Dody?
Nakalimutan. Pinaalala mo pa.
Gumagamit mo ba siya ng kalendaryong malaki yung sa Lumber? Yung,
Yung hardware.
Kasi ang
Yung hardware,
nangyari, may naglalatag pa ng ibang provider dito.
Ah.
Ang Converge.
Converge ka ba o
Nag,
PLDT?
naglalatag sila ng kable.
Mm.
Sky yan, Sky.
Rotelco yata
PLDT
si
ako. Ay,
Wayne.
Sky.
Oh.
Oo, tama. PLDT.
Yeah.
Ay, Sky, Sky.
Hindi Retelco o kaya GTS ah.
Puta. Ang tagal na.
Operator.
Tagal na nun. Ah.
Yung operator pa yun.
Pipindutin mo na ilang beses yung
Telepono
ano.
ko, bayan.
Hello, static. Ganun din.
Information.
Ano pala ang numero ng telephone number mo?
5. 5
Lima.
Oh,
numero.
5. 5.
Nakahirap ako
Yun.
sa retail ko ah.
Pinky, you were doing the news, di ba? Tapos biglang you got into this radio station. How did you feel about the change lalo na nangyari yung let's admit it, ano, yung WK is a jazz station which was being considered a pop station because of its popularity. Di ba? Ganun na
Okay.
nangyari noon eh. No, how did it feel? Was it was there was there a culture shock as far as you're concerned?
No, of course not. No, because I used to hang around with them already prior. So after my news from 12 o'clock to 12:15, I just go to the booth and hang around there. I used to be at UP then, but then sometimes I'd cut classes, which most of the time happened actually, and then and then you're not. So it wasn't exactly a culture shock. It was more like moving into, you know, what I was used to.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And did you expect this kind of popularity? Anybody can answer this. Jing, did you expect this kind of popularity and bandwagon
Didn't
effect?
It didn't even feel like we were popular. No?
Uh-huh.
Did it feel like it was like that? I didn't feel, I mean, like Jing said
No.
earlier, we were just having fun. And
No,
the popularity was surprising actually
So,
sometimes.
Pinky, if I may interrupt, no, speaking from a college student's perspective, you were of legend. The station was of legend then, because according to talk, champagne was flowing all over the booth every day.
Yes.
Ganun katindi yung legend.
Champagne?
Oo.
Yeah.
Oh,
So,
really?
if you felt that hindi nyo nararamdaman yung popularity, everywhere else, kumukulo
Oo.
na yun. Which explained the big record sales for jazz at around the time.
Mm.
At saka, long after you were there, nandyan yung mga radio stations na sumunod. Briefly, ako, I had
Yeah.
hosted the Jazz Downbeat show pa sa LS. Pero segment lang yon. City Light came about, pero hindi nila mapanindigan ng gusto yung dapat na jazz. So, but then, gumagamit ng elements. And then came crossover. So, andun yung effect eh. So, it became a ripple thing, which you probably started. I don't know if it's deliberate, pero umubra. If you didn't feel it,
Trendsetter.
you did.
Trendsetter.
I don't know. These guys are more of the legends of that station. So I was just saling pusa lang actually.
Saling pusa
Yeah.
kaya lang sign on ano, yung prime time sa kanya. Eh.
Ayun na nga eh. So only because they didn't want to come early. That was the only thing. And ako, I lived around UP or somewhere there.
Mhm.
So, you know, it made sense.
Mhm.
Wayne, para sa'yo to kay Howard.
Brother, I feel you. Ganyan talagang walang hiyang yan pag
Yan,
sumagal
yan.
ang connection
Pag
mo.
bumagal.
Eddie,
Kasalanan nyo yan. No? Mapag-uusapan talaga kayo.
Mm.
Pero going back to your point, George, about popularity. As we mentioned earlier, no, Wayne, Jing, Ronnie Malig, and later on Pinky, we all embraced the music genre. We all believed in it, and we thought that in due time we would get the kind of following that we did. Diba? We just believe in the product and the brand, WK the brand. So when we started rating, which equates to popularity, as we all know, no, in the radio business, we weren't surprised. We felt it was you know justice, poetic justice. Na when Jing and I were with WE, together with Ronnie Malig and Joppy Gutierrez and some guys. We tried to inject jazz in our programming, and we got very positive feedback from the very few listeners. Again, another black station at that time. Um, but the positive feedback that we got from our listeners, few as they were in those days, gave us that that push, di ba? Na let's go for this, di ba? People will appreciate this
Mm.
kind of music because it's what's not to appreciate with jazz.
Yeah.
Of course, depende, no? Marami kasi ng jazz, but we tried to be as light as, as we could. Although Jing will always point out that all of us have our individual tastes, and
Yep.
it runs across the spectrum. Diba? Dodi had a
Has
different
its own.
take on what jazz was all about. Jing did, Pinky, Wayne, and myself, even Ronnie. But the audience need to get attracted to
Yeah.
the entirety of the programming. So it worked out well.
You brought that up. I was gonna bring that up. Uh, there was no set rule. No, I'm a listener. I used to be a listener. At the same time, I was in radio before, no. And in radio, dapat hindi ba siyempre may consistency. WK never had that consistency because when you listen to a certain DJ, he had his own tastes in music. No,
Correct.
ibang-iba no.
Mm.
And as far as I'm concerned, when I was young, my orientation sa jazz, Wes Montgomery, Duke Ellington, yung mga ganon. No, John Coltrane. Then all of a sudden, here you come with a bunch of records which I haven't heard of, and then all of a sudden, sabi ko, uy, maganda to ah. No, was there a deliberate was it
Plan?
deliberate that you played that kind of jazz compared to the Ellingtons and the Wes Montgomerys of the world?
May
Jing?
nagbayad sa amin.
Yun, no? Kaya sabi ko na nga ba, si Vic Del Rosario may kasalanan.
Dami naman niya kinita dahil doon.
Oh, no.
George, may
Talaga.
tanong ako. May tanong
Sige,
ako.
Ed.
Yung prevailing management philosophy sa Broadcast City ba? Ganoon? O sa inyo lang yung parang may autonomy kayo to do your own thing? Anyone?
Jing.
Uh, we were personally. I think they saw that it was different. No? Siguro pinagbibigyan kami. Later on, as Ed pointed out, kumikita na yung station, and we had the ratings to prove that the format was working. No? So
Working.
I think it was a matter of a combination of they not knowing what we were doing, so therefore they couldn't say
Yeah.
much about it.
Yeah.
They couldn't shoot it down dahil di
Just
naman natin
making
alam
money,
kung
just
ano yun,
making
hindi naman natin babarilin, di ba? So, at first, siguro ganon, and then it grew on them as well. But yun na nga, the sad thing was, when it grew, somebody said, uy, meron pala tayong FM station dyan, ba't di natin kunin?
Mm.
Kung kailan
So,
lumaki
nawala yung FM station namin. So,
Yeah.
we closed down January 29 of 1984. But the same thing that brought us all together was, kasi you were making a point earlier, George, na bigla na lang may music na ganito na galing sa amin. But it wasn't like we woke up one morning and said, uy, gusto ko itong music na to. Hindi kasi nung panahon pa lang ni Wayne, kunyari, walloping Wayne pa siya, like you said earlier, sa UW, nakikinig na ako, meron ka ng mga It's a Beautiful Day, meron ka lang mga progressive
Yeah.
rock, pero smooth rock. No? So, meron ka lang mga Pat Metheny, meron ka lang mga...
Yes.
So, it wasn't like the music was born overnight.
Mhm.
Uh, this brand of music, in fact, among ourselves, pinag-uusapan namin up to this day. Do we call it jazz?
Mhm.
Mm,
Kasi
yeah.
may mga sasabi na hindi naman jazz yung tinutugtog nyo eh.
Oh,
Yan ang
especially the
totoong jazz,
purists.
which is
Oh.
a valid argument as well.
Yeah.
But the question is, if we're not playing jazz, then what are we playing? So,
Mhm.
para hindi mahaba yung usapan, among ourselves, ang sabi namin, let's call it the WK sound.
Mm.
There
So
was
jazz, yes, Matty said jazz fusion. Yes, jazz fusion is the catch-all description.
yeah.
Kasi fusion parang pagkain yan Filipino,
Mm.
Americano, Italian, matamis na spaghetti. Parang,
Adobo.
parang ganun, di ba? So that's a catch-all description. But is it, for us, it's jazz. Sabi nga namin, where jazz has never sounded better. But jazz for me maybe not be jazz for you. But in the inverse, jazz is whatever you want it to be. So,
Mhm.
para sa amin, it was the music that that we listened to as a product of what we grew up with, the soundtrack of our lives. May pop, may rock, may
Mhm.
classical, may mainstream. Halo-halo na yun. And
Yeah.
you listen to WK before, you get a lot of those sounds. I don't want to call it music, no? May tunog pop, may mainstream, may rock, may lahat yun huli mo dun sa fusion na tinutugtog namin. We call it the WK sound.
So there was no program director.
Kanya-kanya.
Galing, ano?
Galing. Ano yan? Nag-synergize.
Pero sino ang
Ano,
station manager? Sino ang station manager noon?
Wayne.
una si Ronnie Quintos
Wayne.
and then Wayne. Ronnie Quintos muna and then Wayne.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ang maganda ron was that when the recording companies got wise to the movement as well, no? The jazz movement, they started churning out,
Good.
records, no? From different artists. Dati yung sa booth, nag-uunahan pa kami ron to preview, ganon. Somehow, I don't know if you guys would agree. Somehow we all went towards 1, 2, or 3 tracks in an album. Pare-pareho kaming ito maganda. So without actually discussing it, we were pushing those tracks in the album. Yun yung sumikat, di ba? I don't know if it was because we were also listening to each other, and then I would hear it in Jing's show or in Dickie or in Wayne or in Dody. Tapos, it got into my ear, and then it became familiar. And then when I would sit in the booth and I would look at the album, ito yung narinig ko kay Wayne. So, ganda to, di ba? Something like that. It could have happened that way, or we just, all converged. Hindi commercial yan, on those particular tracks, and somehow they became hits.
Offhand nga, no? I can name 2 songs na talagang WK. Room Full of Mirrors.
Oh.
Hiroshima.
Hiroshima.
And You're the One. Ron Scott ba yan?
Ronnie Foster.
Ronnie Foster.
Foster.
Grabe, yung dalawang yun, sabi ko, ito WK.
Mga pan-date yun George.
Yung
Parehong
You're the
pandate.
One, Jing magsaysay para sa akin yun.
Pan-drive
You're
sa
the
kotse
One.
yun Tapos yung tutugtugin mo pag may katabi ka, di ba?
Di ba?
Namulto.
Ganon, no? Yun ang Now, what about local artists? Like
Yan.
si
Boy Katindi.
Bong Piñera kasi was a high school classmate for one summer, no? And he openly admits na WK actually helped him a lot also, no? There was apparently a huge deluge of local artists when you came into the picture, no? Sila Boy Katindig, and then kagaya nga na sabi ni Howard, if not for WK, Serafin Pu was Birdland and Birds of the Same Feather would be nothing, no? So technically, you became a marketing arm of a bar, which spawned other bars like Rhythm and Blues and Jazz Rhythms. Yun ang ano eh. Di ba?
Gumagalaw na si Wayne eh.
Oo.
Oh, mukhang maganda na yung signal ko ngayon. Okay na
Ayun.
ba ako?
Oh, that's good.
Yun, very nice.
Salita ka na. Salita ka na.
Tsaka
Ayun.
siya yung may connection between Birdland and the station.
Oo,
Siya yung talagang
tamang-tama eh.
meron. May active
Oo.
connection.
So,
Actually, sorry to, pero actually, ang nangyari dyan, nothing to do with Birdland.
aha.
It was more birds of the same feather.
Yeah, yung earlier.
The first, yung when it opened up. Well, the place made good. It came, I don't know, during those CB days, yung aming grupo, that was supposed to be the unofficial headquarters pag nag-a-eyeball.
Mm.
Sa Caltex station.
The Shell.
Shell.
Shell station.
Sorry, Shell.
Oh. Actually, yung stasyon ni Serafino, wala pang birds noon eh. I remember, yun ang bilihan ng PX eh. At saka Marlboro Blue.
Hindi, sa tapat
Hindi,
yung Cordero. Cordero yun.
Sa Cordero yung
Corderos yun.
Ayan.
Ang dating birds of the same feather, Talyer.
Talyer dati.
Ang mga magkakasosyo dyan, mga taga KBS din. I don't know if you know. I don't know if you met Sani Urbano, Boy Guevara. Yan yung mga istambayan doon at kanila yung Talyer. Hanggang sa ginagawa na lang ni nag-usap-usap sila magtayo ng bar. Naging jazz bar. Si Sani Urbano yata kasi arkitekto yon, pero he was with Scenics and Graphics, ba tawag doon? Sa KBS.
Yeah.
Siyang
Nag-design.
nag-design.
Pero yung interior, kay Ramon.
Kay Ramon
Ang
Buwan.
interior, yung brother ni
Yung kapatid
I
ni Serap.
see. Aha.
Anyway, birds of the same feather yun. So, balik tayo sa WK. Yan. Nasunog ako kanina, no?
Wala.
Guni-guni mo lang yan.
Hindi, nakita nyo, nag-post kagad si Howard.
Oo eh.
Sensitive.
Pareho kasi kayo retail ko eh.
Retail ko nga. Saka, yung nag-PP daw sa likod ng power, napagod.
Ayun.
Sagutin mo na yung WK.
In WK.
Oh.
Ikaw ang isa sa mga original, di ba?
Ito kami.
And who thought of that idea? Mag-jazz tayo. Ganon.
Kami na lang. Kami na mga good guys na yun. It was never pasulput-sulput yung jazz namin nung kaming tatlo nila Howard tsaka ni Andy. Pero it was more closer to rock than anything else.
Yeah.
Kasi mga pinanggalingan, I don't know kung saan nanggaling I'm not sure about the background. Alam ko si Howard nag-MBN, di ba?
WKW rin.
Pero yung rock kami nun isipin mo, Peter Molina, Peter St. John, DJ
Howlin' Dave.
Wala si Howlin' Dave.
Wala, si DJ Alfred pala.
Rafi Regulida. Would you believe for a while, pati si Iggy Moran, the late Iggy Moran, also was a job with WK. Puro mga S eh.
Si Sonia Basa was there also, di ba? For a while. Wala Sonia.
Sa WK namin, wala.
WS yun, WS.
Yeah, WS, right.
Ronnie Quintos, Naldi Castro,
Yun.
sino po ba? Hindi ko na maalala. Yaman na yun.
Yung Charlie De La Rama, was he with you?
Yeah, he was our pinch hitter.
Yes, he was.
Sa good guys. Sa grupo namin good guys.
Malaki boses. Yun ang
Oh,
Oo.
solid.
Charlie
Ano yun,
Little.
the late na rin yun. The late Charlie
The
De
late na
Lorato.
rin.
Late na rin.
I
The late.
see. Anyway, Wayne, so you decided jazz tayo. Ganun na lang yon.
Oh,
You were one of the only two employees, no? Wala kang
Really,
pananagutan
Dody.
sa man. Oo, wala kayong pananagutan sa management nun.
wala. Pinapakita lang, meron lang kaming intention na meron pang ibang klaseng tugtog
Mhm.
sa airwaves
Mm.
na hindi pa na-ere. Nandito rin lang naman tayo. We love the music. We like to share it.
Mhm.
So we just all nodded our heads and we told ourselves, let's go. Let's
Mm.
do it.
And what
So,
what
it was not a complicated process.
kaya nga nakakainggit eh, no? Probably you're the only radio station na ganun eh. Iba kasi dekahon lahat eh, no? And all of a
Oh.
sudden, here you came up with something very novel at the same time walang ano, kumbaga you went out of the box. You just didn't think out of the box. You went out of the box, got rid of the box, and came out with WKFM.
And ate the box.
Oh, ate the box, so to speak, no? So what prompted you guys to start promoting heavily those local artists of ours? Biglang pumutok na rin eh, no? Dati-dati, pag pupunta kang bar, yung hindi masyado eh. Ngayon, uh, they're everywhere, no?
Hindi kasi, alam mo, George, kung unahin ko na bago sila sumagot, nagising kasi. Nandyan na yan eh.
Oo.
Nandyan na yung talent, nandyan na yung desire. Meron naman palang avenue para ma-promote sa radio. So I guess one of them should have had that notion then. Sino sa inyo ang may idea nun?
Yeah.
Nagtayo ng banda ang Serapin Pua. The Sticky Band.
Yung sticky, yes.
Anarchy Words, Boy Katindig. Saan ka pa lalayo pa ba? Ang singer,
Louis Reyes. Oh,
ang
Louis
singer,
Reyes.
ang singer, Jackie Magno.
Louis
Ang
Reyes.
singer,
Louis Reyes.
Louis Reyes.
Doon nag-umpisa yun sa sticky.
Sila Baron Barbers, di ba?
Richard Mark.
Richard Mark. Correct.
Richard Merck, Jennifer Ramos.
Yeah.
And it was phenomenal, ano? Yung grabe talaga. Paano dati ang jazz, pupunta ka pa sa ano yun, yung sa Malate?
Oh, yung Jazz Bar? Jazz Bar?
Vineyard.
Hindi, yung may isa yung I
Jazz
forgot the
Rhythms
name.
ba? Hindi.
Hindi.
Wala pa yun.
Nauna pa. Yung,
Ano?
si Bong Peñera dun eh.
Pension.
Pension Philippines.
Pension. Correct.
Oo. No? Dun lang. Tapos all of a sudden, when WK stepped in, nagkaroon ng Jazz Rhythm and Blues, sa Araneta Avenue, merong Bacchus, nandun sila sila Lito Molina dun eh, di ba?
Yun.
No? And
Yun yung mainstream.
precisely, and it's incredible because that place was always packed every time Lito Molina was playing. Ano? Yung makikita mo yung effect talaga ng WKFM, eh, no? And
sabi ni Dr. Howard, Taboys.
Cinco
Litros. Di ba Taboys 5 litros yun eh, di ba? Complete.
Correct. Sa Mabini.
Okay. Ayun.
Then you have
May tinda pa
Roy Keller sa Holiday Inn.
Oh, that's right. And
Si Eddie played there, and then
yeah.
Ledesma would dabble in some jazz fusion.
Really?
with music
When
and
she
magic.
was with the group called Ensalada.
And also music and magic, di ba?
Oo.
Yeah.
Ito nakakatawa si Mr. Isunga, si Victor Isunga, sabi, kayong dalawa raw,
Dinadalan ko
Wayne,
ng bilog.
bumibili, dinadalan si Ronnie Q ng bilog at kayo bumibili ng lapad tapos dinadalan nyo sa birds. Totoo ba yun?
Anak ni Vic Morales yan.
Anak ni Vic Morales yan.
Anak ni
Yeah,
Vic. Anak ni Vic. Ayun, no? What does Pinky do now? What does the Superwoman do nowadays?
So
Yes,
I
and
work
the
at
rest of the guys.
Yeah, so I work at Volkswagen. I recently actually I got made redundant during the COVID, which means that I lost my job. And then I got a little bit of money from there. And then I sort of said, oh, I'll give myself a break. So I was jobless for about a month or two. And then I got this offer again from Volkswagen. So that's where I am now. So what I do there is I chase people for their arrears, yung mga hindi nagbabayad ng kanilang Lamborghini and their Ferraris and
Mm.
their Skodas, and then sila pa yung magagalit sa akin. And then if they still don't pay, I get their car, I repossess the car.
Uh-huh. You know, I had the
That's what I
impression if
do.
you own a Lamborghini or Ferrari, you'd pay in cash.
Not not here, not here. There was even this guy who bought a Bentley, and then
Uh-huh.
Ah,
3 months later, he called, sabi niya, I'm in hardship. Can you give me like parang 3 months
Mm.
moratorium not to pay for his Bentley. I said, can you give me the reason why? Oh, my partner, he walked away with my wife and my business and I have nothing. Okay, why don't we just collect the car? So wala ka ng problema. Oh, no, no, I love my car. Yung ganon. Ayaw ibigay yung kotse.
Uh-huh.
So,
No wonder no
you
wonder
deal
his
with people like that.
wife left him, huh?
Yeah,
He
he can
loves
have
his
the
Bentley
Bentley.
more.
Yeah.
What about Wayne? What do you do nowadays, Wayne? Do you still have jazz box and stuff?
Wala na.
Wala na.
The bars are all closed. I am involved in voice directing telenovelas
Mhm.
sourced from Mexico,
Mhm.
and from Spanish to English, we do it here in Manila,
Uh-huh.
uh, and then we send it back. It's not being aired.
Oh.
It's not being aired in the Philippines.
Minsan
So
to
Uh-huh.
English, no? Spanish to
So
English.
you
from
you
Spanish to English,
uh-huh.
and
So
then
you write the scripts and everything.
yeah, scripts are written.
Mm.
The company in Mexico sends us the literal English translation
Mhm.
of the whatever. Of course, literally when you translate, cannot
the
be
dialogue.
conversation. Is
Mhm.
Yeah.
so doon ang pinagbabasehan ng local scriptwriter,
Mhm.
and then I have 10 voice talents
Mhm.
uh, that I work with
Mhm.
for this particular telenovela, which is right now there's 82 episodes,
Wow.
Wow.
and I'm only halfway done.
Mhm.
Wow.
So being the voice director, I make sure that the syncing, lip syncing, the content of the dialogue, plus I also tweak scripts that are submitted to us. Kasi minsan hindi rin conversational English yung ano yung,
Mhm.
yung kanilang sinusulat eh.
Kaya
So
rewrite, no?
binabakong yan. Gagawin ko lang. Yun lang.
Mm. What about Ed? Okay, you're still involved in boxing, right?
Mm.
Yes, I am.
Mhm.
I'm the Secretary General of the National Sports Association for Boxing. That's
Mhm.
Olympic style boxing. Everybody,
Yeah.
when people
Mm.
know that I'm boxing, ano kaagad eh, oh, si Pacquiao. No,
Mm.
no, no. I'm not involved with that's professional boxing.
Mhm.
Um, I'm with the national team.
What about Jing? One of the few really credible newscasters. What is
Podcast.
Jing Magsaysay doing nowadays? Aside
We
from
have
your
a
photography, of course, I'm very impressed with your photographs.
thank you, thank you.
Mhm.
We have a company called
Mhm.
Lahi.ph, and it's a company that produces Filipino content. Uh, we post on Facebook. We have a Facebook page. Go to it, Lahi.ph.
Mhm.
Tinayo namin nung 2017 because we decided that uh, why why should politics dictate the conversation of our everyday?
Mm.
So why don't we dedicate a media content company to producing content that will showcase what is good and excellent about the Filipino? Kasi ang
Mhm.
dami-daming kwento ng Pilipino na hindi natin alam. No? For example,
Mhm.
there's this 30-year-old guy who goes around the Philippines and Asia, and he's now in Africa and Europe, giving away 3 apples each to indigent children. Kasi nung bata daw siya, nakikita niya yung letter A sa blackboard, may apple. Letter A is for apple. Sabi niya, bakit kaya apple? Hindi pa siya nakakatikim ng apple. Sabi niya, siguro masarap yun. Nung nakatikim daw siya ng apple, sabi niya, ang sarap pala ng apple. Pag nagkapera ako, mamimigay ako ng apple sa mga batang hindi makatikim ng apple.
Really?
This guy launched the Apple Project, and he is now giving away, like I said, apples to indigent children, but he's also teaching hygiene sa mga bata, walang tubig sa bahay, and things like that. So, ang daming kwento ng mga Pilipino na hindi na kwento. Bakit pinag-uusapan natin palaging politika? So, why don't we talk about Filipinos who are actually doing something for other Filipinos and for the Philippines? So, we're doing these stories. We're also looking back. We partnered with the National Historical Commission of the Philippines and the Philippine Commission for Culture and the Arts to dig into our culture, kung ano yung nakaraan natin, and what we can do to bring back the values of our lahi, yung lahi natin. Pagsira na lahat ng institusyon ng bansa, ano ang pwede natin reference point? Para sa amin, we should go back to values. Kasi hindi ka magkakamali pag-stick sa values. What is right and what is wrong. And there are so many examples in our history of what is right and what is wrong, and what Filipinos do to enrich our culture. No? There are Filipinos who build boats, raise the roots that our ancestors took, going to China, going to other parts of the world. So that's what we do. And we also produce content for companies that want to tell their story in our manner, to connect it with our culture, our civilization, yung lahi natin. So we look up to a company, we look up your core values, and we connect that with Philippine values, and we produce content for you based on that.
You know, yung that gave me an idea. Ano yung bumagsak? That gave me an idea. Paano yung Boomers Banquet?
Shorts ko.
Yung shorts mo bumagsak. Yung we created this precisely for us to, look back at the good things that we had before and maybe make people feel good, no? Maybe one of these days we could invite you guys, no? Yung your group, invite you over and tell us more about your project. Who knows? We might be able to encourage other people to support
Wow,
your
who's
project.
that?
Diba? Marian Liwag. Hello, Wayne. Hi, handsome. Do you remember that line? You always say that, Wayne. Hi, handsome.
Change topic.
Okay, so
George,
Jing,
bago tayo magwakas. Tanungin
Teka.
natin sila ulit. Malapit na. Tanungin natin sila ulit yung hindi nila malilimutang karanasan doon sa kanilang grupo.
ayun. Starting with Pinky, syempre, ang sasabihin niyan, yung memo
Pinky
na
Bob Jones.
linagay. Tsaka yung
oo.
memo ni, na kung ano-ano yung mga pinagsusulat, hindi ba? Ganon.
That's right. My second one was actually when so I was on board, and then there was this American guy who just popped his head in, and then said, "Is Brother Wayne in?" I said, "No, he comes in at around 4:30. Would you like to come in and have a seat? But it will be a long wait," sabi ko sa kanya. Tapos sabi niya, "Okay, I'll wait." So po siya. So, wala lang. So, tingin ako sa TV kasi may TV kami noon. We would watch TV together, and then I'd ask him, Do you want some coffee? Or can I get you a drink or something like that? No, wala, chika lang, small talk. Then all of a sudden, the door flings open, and then Brother Wayne is there, and I go, and then he just goes to the gentleman and shakes his hand. Sabi ko, uy, sino kaya to? Importante siguro tong taong to. And then sabi niya, iknip, iknip, alis ka dyan. So, pinaalis ako doon sa upuan ko. Sabi ko, okay. Sabi niya, oh, by the way, have you met Superwoman? So, and then, yeah, we've been talking, sabi nung guy. And then, oh, iknip, Bob James. And then I went, what? Bob James? I went, I died. So I never knew him from Adam. I don't know what he looks like. He just looked like an American, with the sweater and glasses on. And he was really a really nice guy. He was a good guy in a sense. Kasi umupo lang siya, walang ka-ere-ere. He just sat down, waited for Wayne, twiddled his thumbs a little bit, and that's it. And then yung pala, si Bob James na pala yun. So yun, one of those. Oh, si Dody.
Dody,
Hi, Dody.
ba't
Alam mo,
naman
gusto
hindi
ko
ka
sila
ng buhok?
Okay na ba?
Dody, ba't naman yung mukha mo parang
Nagtitina talaga ako. Pero hindi kasama yung buhok sa kilikili.
Ano yan? Sumali ka
Parang
ba
ano?
sa K-pop? Ha?
Parang
Sumali ka na
Sumali sa K-pop.
Ano nangyari sa buhok mo?
Kapahaba talaga ako ng buhok.
yung polo mo pambagong taon, ha?
Oo nga.
Pero pinahaba ko.
Polka dot, ha?
Hindi
Cheers,
pa-
Dody. Cheers.
Okay ba? Nawala ako.
Ano nangyari sa'yo?
Ay, kamusta kayo? Ito pa si Ted. Si George. Ano, George?
Hey.
Ano ba?
Ayan, tanongin niyo na si Dody.
Marami rin kwento yan.
Ay, George Mercado.
Tony.
Yun eh. Di ba?
Oh.
George Market Mercado.
Sabi ko na nga ba magda-dramatic entrance ka eh, no? True to form eh, no?
To think, Dody, to think, ikaw yung unang-una nag-reply
Oo nga
na
eh.
yes, I'll be
Nakakalosi
there.
tayo.
Yeah. Ikaw unang-una, tapos sabi ko, si Dody.
Si Dody kasi we have a history. He's 10 years ahead of me sa high school eh. So
Oh, okay.
Laglagan na uli.
Let's distort history.
Uy, si Dody. Teka, Dody, how have you been?
George,
Oo.
batch din. Talk lang kami ni George. George, di ba kabatch mo sila Bing?
Vic?
Kabatch mo sila
Okay.
Bing at saka... George,
Yeah.
di ba kabatch mo
Siegfried.
sila Bing, Augusilio at saka si Siegfried?
Yes, that's right. Mhm.
Alam mo, wala na sila, hindi ba? Alam mo na,
Yeah.
patay na sila ang dalawa.
Yeah.
Dapat ko ba? Because they are kind of close na sa kanila.
Oo, peta eh, no? The
Anyway,
acting
si
guild.
Pinky, parang...
Oo.
Parang
Bakit? Ako na naman nakita mo.
kasi Jing magsaysay.
Tama yung forma ni
Ethics.
Dody, oh. Medyo naka-angle pa yung shoulder ganyan eh, no? Talagang
Hindi niya natanggal yung hanger kanina nung pinatang niya yung polo.
Saan ka pupunta, Dody?
Ang favorite
Nakaporma
na life.
ka.
Paano nyo alam?
Naamoy namin yung naptalina, Dody.
I'm supposed to be in a distinguished panel.
Oo. No? Distinguished panel kayo.
Jing, kasi yung to, nandito na sa labas ng kapakot.
Mm.
Tama ko siya. I'm part of a WIC now, so I wear this to keep me younger, younger look.
Oh, okay.
WIC, so I wear this.
Aha.
Okay ba?
Sinong katuwang mo sa WIZ? Hello?
It's a spiritual biblical program. So I do the Friday edition, Salvation Today. That's the title of the program. Salvation Today. 10 o'clock in the evening to 11. Evening. Salvation Today. PC.
Morning
From
stand,
this,
Dod?
from this year, people about me. So.
Okay, no?
Be-
Is it
to be
mornings,
honest,
Dody?
10 to 11.
ng maga?
Every Friday.
Friday.
Every morning. Friday lang yun. Friday evening.
I see. Okay.
Dodi, we were talking about kanina yung start ng WK and everything, and apparently you were part of the original. You were one of the 2 employees lang, ano? Kayong dalawa ni Wayne, no? Was jazz really into your system? Paano? Alam ko, ever since high school, drama talagang ano mo no? Acting no? Then all of a sudden, ito nga, no? Jazz and everything. So jazz was in your system too.
Yeah, part of part of the mainstream performing arts, diba?
Ayun.
Getting
Personally,
drama, get into the various related fields like broadcasting, right? Tama, original kami ni Wayne. At saka si Jimmy Sarenas.
Okay.
Quintos. Hindi pa jazz yan. Ron Quintos was also supervisor Jimmy Sarenas. So there was a period in WK history when it really went all pop. Not for commercial purposes, because the management was really revenue inclined at that time under the operations manager, the late manager of Banquet.
Okay.
Tapos from pop music ventured into. Pero sa umpisa lang, di ba, Jing, ano umpisa yung progressive jazz na yan, na concept ng panahon nila Hadi, nila Peter Molina, nila Rafael Benida, di ba, dito, Alfred, di ba? Yung progressive talaga ang WK, ang design ng program and the image pero nabago, naging commercialized. Hello, bro, Wayne.
Ito namin patay ang ilaw sa bus, may isang kandila kasi babasa ng Harold Robbins. Oh, is that right, Jing? Can you have a look at that?
Harold Robbins,
Harold Robbins,
Huh?
Yeah, I turned off the light in the booth. There was one time na ipagpasin ako kay Padilla.
Yung Harold Robbins.
So ako nag-sign off.
Patay ilaw mo sa booth?
Ang lakas ng ulan. So ang ginawa ko, inalis ko yung mic. Kasi pagbukas mo ng booth ng WK,
ilaw mo sa booth,
may corridor, tapos may garden. Ang lakas ng ulan. So nagpatugtog ako ng John Clemmer, tinanggal ko yung mic, hinata ko yung kable hanggang sa garden, tinapat ko sa ulan saka sa kulog. Tapos binuksan ko yung mic para may tunog ng ulan.
Galing
Sakto yun. Sakto yun sa kape.
Oo.
Sign off. Pinapatay ko yung sa booth, di ba may lamp ako?
Oo nga.
Okay,
Tapos, ang labo niya ni Jing dati, kasi we would also have something behind us. What was it, Jing? There's this, we had, we had, not a stool, we had this, I don't know what you call it, but anyway, naka-board siya, pero nakikinig siya sa RJ. Naka-board siya, pero, and then when he does the news, he's still listening to RJ. I go, this guy is just brilliant. I mean, how does he do it? Ang klase. It's weird na noon pa.
Anong connection ni Harold Robbins in the...
Oo nga.
Pansapin lang yun, yung nasa loob yung porn.
In the greater scheme of things.
Nasa labas lang yun, nasa loob yung porn.
Hindi siya Harold Robbins guy. He would be really... I don't think... Yeah, Harold Robbins was more like I don't know, soft-born novel.
He's the book version of Debbie Does Dallas, di ba? Yung mga ganun.
Something. Yeah, but no, Jing's not the Harold Robbins type.
No. Reading a book with the shades on.
Kaya nagtatanong sino daw si Ronnie Q.
Yung nagtitinda ng barbecue dun sa Ronnie Q is Ronnie Quintos. How is he? The man with the golden voice.
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
Actually, si Ronnie Quintos, I first heard him sa WS pa noon. He used to host the Golden Nine, yung countdown nila.
May
The Golden
nagtatanong,
Line and
sino daw
Funny
si Ronnie
Kids.
Q? Ronnie Q.
Oo nga, kanina pa namin sinasagot, Dodi.
Hmm.
Sabi ko, Mike.
Hmm. Ayun.
So, Ronnie Q was the Golden Boy. Was the supervisor.
Program supervisor.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
he couldn't do anything about what you did with Jazz. Ganun ba yun?
Ronnie Q. Became
Well,
our
you know,
Dodi
supervisor.
had pinasa ni Wayne yung service provider niya kay Dodi ngayon, kaya siya yung nagsaslow mo si Dodi.
Oo nga eh.
Alam mo, si Ronnie Q at saka ako, magsuntukan yan. Ano ba yun?
Ay,
Talaga? Uy, galangin mo matatanda ha. Hindi pwede yun. Uy, Ronnie
Ronnie
passed
Q.
away in the US
Ako,
some time ago.
magsuntukan kami.
oh, I
Thank you.
didn't know that. Oh,
Oh.
Sa mga,
right.
Galing kay Long Tol.
Sad to hear.
Hmm. Ayun. Long
Thanks,
Tall
Howard.
Howard, thank you very much. Next time you join us, Long Tall Howard is kumbaga a historic person already. Hindi historic.
Prehistoric.
On cue with Quintos on DZWS during the 60s. Cow. Thank you very much,
Yeah.
Alex. No? Yun, no? And of course, si Wayne was with UW together with Mike Pedero, right?
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Mike Pedero.
Whopping Wayne.
si Milton, okay pa? Ano rin si Milton, Wayne?
Hindi ko alam. Kapatid ni Ronnie?
Yeah.
Hi, Long
Wala akong
Tom.
balita.
Jing, question. Personally, your jazz preferences.
Person na si Long Tom.
That's why I can go from pop jazz to progressive rock jazz, acid jazz, depending on my mood. Mainstream,
Mm-hmm.
depending on my mood. I like a lot of stuff.
Uh-huh. Ayun. So, and anything kaya, no? And I guess it shows in your programs also, no? The stuff you play. What about si Wayne? Wayne, what your personal preferences in jazz?
Wow. It runs the gamut from from what I inherited from my dad.
Yeah, we heard that your dad is a jazz aficionado.
Yeah, he was. And while he was playing his music at home, my younger brother and I felt that he was not the kind of music we wanted to hear.
Mm-hmm.
But then, as we got older, you just realize something plays and you start humming on the songs. And you're wondering why. Saan ko nakuha to? And that was what I used when I got into this jazz with the good guys. And wala, automatic lang eh. Pag nagugulat na ako eh. Nandito lang pala sa likod ng ulo ko.
Where did good guys come from, Wayne? Saan galing yung good guys na?
Yeah,
who
coined that?
What I remember is there's this guy, Freddie Cochran.
Okay.
Galing din ang boses eh.
Oh.
And he started this thing, I'm one of the good guys. Okay, pero actually, I don't know, Jing, maalala niyo ba kung saan galing yung good guys?
No, I don't remember. I just remember we used
Ginagamit na lang natin eh.
Oh, from day one.
Oh,
Pati yung jazz has never sounded better.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Didn't you think of any other collective name like Los Guapos or something?
Paano naman ako?
Yon.
Tapos sabihin nila, guwapo ka rin naman eh. No, any other moniker came to your mind while already using good guys or before that? Anyone can answer this.
Well, we weren't really structured the way other groups are structured. We were just doing our stuff, doing our thing. I would come in with my Lord, Pinky would come in with work. I'd stay with Pinky. Pinky would stay with me. I'd stay with Ed. Sometimes I'd stay on till Wayne, and we'd talk and we'd drink in the booth. We had a huge air conditioner inside the booth.
Yeah. Oh,
Pero
yeah.
may lost na di ba?
Sa ibabaw lumalabas yung
George,
hangin. So,
may
palagi
lost
may
na yung
nakakapang na beer. Sa
Mm.
ibabaw ng air conditioner. So, we'd stay together, magkukwentuhan kami, we talk about the music, we hung out with each other, but we were not really, we wouldn't have meetings every week and talk about the station. And
Yeah.
then, hindi ganon eh. We just, it was the best years of my radio life.
Pero
Yeah,
sa
I can
Jing,
imagine.
sa station, ano amenities nyo doon? Like, nabanggit mo, dito kayo nagpapalamig ng ganyan. Like, meron ba
We had
kayong
TV.
pantry, ref, o ano?
Ang ganito na
Or
lang.
in-house chef?
Wala.
We have really good speakers.
Butler.
We have really good speakers and
Yeah.
turntables that have wooden tone arms.
Wooden
Yeah.
phone arms.
Wooden
Yeah.
tone. Yeah. Yeah. And we have really good speakers. So the real amenity was being able to play jazz and listen to it
Exactly.
at top volume.
Ang nakakatuwa na nobody knows when we have our interviews with foreign artists, ang inuupuan nila is a real na
Player?
doon iniikot yung kable ng camera. Mga cameras. So
Okay.
we just put it on one side. Upuan na yan. Ayos na yan.
Ganun lang, ah.
Interview na tayo.
And they didn't mind.
Di ba si Tom Scott nga na umpog pa dun sa speaker.
Oo nga, oo.
Yung dalagyan ng speaker, umpog.
Okay,
Tom
ano.
Scott.
Tom
Kaya lang-
Scott.
Buta hindi niya nasubo yung saxophone.
Nako.
Kaya lang bago, I remember Ronnie Malik was telling me, kayo yung may push button na mixer noon, no? Yung console nyo. Yung push button.
Push button ba?
Yeah,
Oo.
push button yan.
Tapos sabi niya, natanggal minsan yun. Ang ginawa yata ng technician, linagyan ng epoxy or whatever. Linagyan ng epoxy. Pag pindot, ayaw nang
Wala nang bumalik.
Oo, tama.
So yun ang mga ano eh, no? But, okay, Ed, ikaw, what is your personal preference sa jazz?
Well, I would like to think that my taste is as eclectic as all the other good guys. No? We embrace all forms of jazz, even rhythm and blues na crossing over to jazz. My personal philosophy is so long as it sounds good to me, it should sound good to a lot of other people. So play it, and if they like it, fine. If they don't, well then maybe some other time, some other song, di ba? Pabimunga muna kung hindi mo gustuhan, di ba? Pero by and large naman, we're batting pretty well. Maganda ang batting average namin when it comes to the music that we played, as evidenced by the enthusiasm, no, of a lot of people when we came out on Facebook, and up to now they've been clamoring for more of the music, and we'd like to be able to accommodate them.
What do you think is the biggest hit WK ever made?
Happiness is You by Banquet.
Happiness is You.
Yeah.
Okay.
No doubt.
Michael
Of course.
Pedichin.
Michael
Diba?
Pedichin Jr.
Excuse me.
Actually, it's Pedicin.
Ed, correct
Yeah.
that, please.
Yeah. Ano, no?
Pedicin. Pedicin.
Yes, it's Pedicin.
Pedicin ba?
Actually,
Okay.
Bakit yung
we-
David
you know,
Benoit?
we said the Pedicin. We thought it was Pedicin. And then when he came here with the Jones girls,
Pedicin din.
I remember they were guesting in the Ariel Ureta show on Channel 4. And I accompanied them there. Tapos when Ariel asked the Jones girls, sila yung kumanta, di ba? Sila yung vocals ng Happiness You. Who's Michael Pedichen? Who? Sabi ng ganun. The sax guy, Michael Pedichen. Oh, Mike Pedersen. Sabi, tawag agad sa WK. Abort! Hindi Pedichen. Mga isang taon na namin ginagamit yung Pedichen.
Pwede chin.
Parang ano, sa States, hindi ba si David Benoit, sinabi David Benoit?
Benoit, yeah.
When I actually asked him personally about it when he came here in first concert niya sa Cultural Center. And when we asked him point blank, how do you pronounce it? It's Benoit.
Oh, Benoit talaga.
Benoit. Angela Bofield, hindi Bofield. Diba?
Bofield.
Angela Bofield.
It's at Bofield.
Bofield.
It's Bofield.
Bofield daw eh.
Kasi South American, parang Puerto Ricans.
Aha. Okay.
She only had one kid. She only has one kidney. I interviewed her kasi,
talaga?
and then she revealed to me, I only have one kidney. Then I asked her about the rumor of her being an item
Involved.
with Dave Valentine, and then she said, "No, he's just a good friend of mine." Whatever that means.
What about Dody? Hey, Mr. Lacuna. What would your personal preference be as far as jazz is concerned?
Wrong camera.
Yun. Aum.
Awaki naman.
Yan na yun.
para nasa photo mo yun.
Wala, frozen ka, Dodi. Frozen.
Frozen.
Ed, ba't palagi may ganyan tayo, no? At least si Wayne okay na, no?
Yung corona ni Howard napunta kay Dody na ngayon.
Basta Wayne, tapos
Dumaan sa akin eh.
Oo, tama.
De, consistent naman yan. Si Rudolph Rivera, ganyan din. Ayun.
From jazz rock to
Yep.
jazz rock. Well,
At least we can hear some Dody. Merong konting
may
audio.
konting ano. Oh.
to take
Jing, would you agree with Ed and the rest of the guys that happiness?
Oops. Dodi, you're...
Dumayo.
Wala si Dody.
Dody, you're chubby.
You're chubby.
Why chubby?
Chubby.
Jing, would you agree with them? Happiness is You ang biggest hit ng WK?
National anthem.
Yeah.
National anthem.
Most requested song.
Hands down.
Really?
Yeah.
Happiness is You.
And who discovered that song?
I don't
may
remember.
corona. May
Hindi po.
Oh no, that...
Hindi ko maalala.
Actually, hindi na namin alam eh. Kasi we all gravitated towards that track. You know? There was another one there in that album that we used to play. I think it was more upbeat. Pero yung Happiness is You, by far, talagang, yun nga eh, people just remember, whenever they hear it, they tell us na what comes to mind is WK. Kasi nga, siguro, you know, in pop stations, normally, di ba, yung mga hits, they'd stay for what? 4, 5, 6, 10 weeks. Pero sa, you know, in case of that track, Happiness is You, it was with WK from the time that we played it, possibly in 1981 or 82 until we closed.
Yeah.
Hindi na wala yun eh.
Grabe.
Talagang nandun lang siya. No? And then,
Tuwan-tuwa Baikor nun.
CBS Sony nga yun, ano?
CBS yun.
Tama,
Sony yun.
Sony.
CBS Sony.
CBS Sony yun.
Nilagay nga sa sampler. Oh, well.
Yeah, and Eddie Katindig, do it, di ba?
Yeah. Mhm.
Tapos yung sa kanta. Uh, and then,
Hindi
of
siya
course,
madali,
nandun din yung,
tugtugin.
no. And then, nandun din yung isa pang kinanta ni Wayne, yung Moody's Mood. Si
Ah,
George
oh, mood.
Yun,
Benson.
eh.
Oh.
Diba?
There I go, there I go. Di
Yeah,
ba?
yeah, yeah.
George
There,
Benson.
there you went, there you went. Uh, so,
Tugtog sa
that
karera.
also
There I go.
an iconic. And then, of course, we had the hits of Spyro Gyra.
Oh.
And then you
Morning
mentioned
Dance.
George Hiroshima and Sea Wind.
Manhattan Transfer.
Manhattan Transfer.
Manhattan Transfer.
Alphonse Muzon, di ba?
And of
Meron
course,
din.
Michael
Yeah.
Franks.
Yeah.
The
Yeah.
ultimate bait machine.
Si Michael Franks, panahon pa namin Jing sa WE, sikat na siya di ba?
Oo.
Kaya lang nung mag-concert siya rito, Focard Theater yun eh.
Mm.
Sigawan siya ng mga, be alive! Tayo na When the cookie jar is empty. Walang kabuhay-buhay talaga yun. Kikita mo lang siya, pero kung panonoorin, di ba? Hindi ko ng Manhattan Transfer, may choreography, may production, di ba?
Oh.
Show sila talaga.
Entertainment.
Parang si Kenny Rankin din yun eh, nakachinelas nung pumunta sa stage sa folk arts.
Correct.
Oh.
Di ba? Ganun din yun eh.
Pero yung Spyro Gyra, people like Ramsey Lewis or Tom Scott, music na talaga. Pero at least they alive on stage, di ba? May konting
Showmanship.
angas kahit pa paano, showmanship. Ito talagang nakatayo lang din. But anyway, sikat siya, di ba? Hanggang ngayon.
Grabe nga
Iba
eh.
yun. Yeah.
Oh, teka.
Marami
di-
sa WK na hindi kilala until well, we'd like to think na when we broke the record, some pop stations picked it up,
Yeah.
picked them up, and then they became mainstream, di ba? Na naging part of the pop music landscape to the delight of Mr. Rosario and JP and these guys, di ba? Yun ang legacy ng
WK.
Eddie went mute.
To those of you who want to watch this again, it's gonna be in YouTube forever, and you can tell all your friends also to just go to YouTube, look for Boomer's Banquet and this episode, and you can enjoy it as many times as you want to. All right, Teddy.
Thank you.
Thank you to the good guys. Just the people we need to hear and watch at this time. And speaking of, thank you. Salamat sa BioFresh underwears and socks.
Yun,
And also
diba?
to Design Makati.
Makati. Aha.
And of course to the good guys, salamat sa legacy. Everybody else just follows in your lead, and we're hoping to hear from you again and more often from now on. Thank you.
You know, yung inaano na where jazz has never sounded better. Your Saturday morning hasn't sounded this good for a long time, and it's because of the good guys.
Thank you.
Very nice, no?
Thank you.
It's great to see you again, and we'd like to thank all of you for joining us. Thank you, Audiophile and Seria Restaurant, and of course, Design Makati. We'll see you again next week.
Well, wait, George, si Dody has unmuted. Kaya lang. ayaw
Okay.
pumasok.
Dody,
Baka
can
may
we hear
tunog.
you?
Wala ba?
Salta ka, Dody.
He's trying.
Oo.
Parang ID picture, no?
Oo nga eh. Yan.
Hindi, parang
Walang
pang-kampanya eh. Tatakbo ba to?
Pag senador.
Yan eh. Ayos eh, no? Ihalal. Yan.
Ay, lol.
Anyway, thank you, Dody, Jing,
birthday.
Pinky, Ed, and Wayne, and happy birthday, Jing. See you again next week here on
Okay.
Boomer's Banquet.